Every year, hundreds of thousands of people in their 40s and 50s develop dementia, a disease usually associated with old age, stops dead mid-career. This chart breaks down the causes of young-onset dementia. Notice this tiny 5 to 10% slice. That represents cases driven entirely by genetics. The rest of the circle has nothing to do with unavoidable hereditary bad luck. The remaining 90 to 95% of cases are actually driven by 15 specific, measurable factors. Isolating these 15 triggers shifts the focus away from fixed genetics. It identifies specific areas where targeted lifestyle and medical interventions might change the trajectory toward a diagnosis. This data grid represents the foundation of that research. Researchers analyzed the UK Biobank, tracking adults under 65 over 3 million person years. They tracked 39 suspected risk factors, mapped the correlations, and mathematically narrowed them down to 15 definitive culprits. To make sense of these 15 triggers, we can sort them into 3 specific areas of our lives: physical health, lifestyle choices, and mental well-being. Grouping them like this gives us a practical framework. Instead of a messy list of medical terms, we get a clear strategy for understanding how to defend the brain against early decline. We usually treat the brain and the body as 2 separate systems, but physical wear and tear directly damages the brain's internal machinery. Conditions that affect your blood vessels, like diabetes, heart disease, or a previous stroke, compromise the delivery of oxygen and nutrients. If your heart struggles to pump blood efficiently, your brain suffers the consequences. This diagram illustrates a condition called orthostatic hypotension. That is a clinical term for when your blood pressure drops when you stand up, which physically starves the brain of oxygen for brief, repeated moments. Researchers also flagged systemic inflammation, measured by a liver protein called CRP, alongside low levels of vitamin D, which acts as a neurosteroid essential for maintaining healthy neural pathways. They even linked lower hand grip strength to early dementia. It acts as a surprisingly accurate physical measurement for overall bodily frailty. Let's look at this top-down view of the brain to understand one of the most striking triggers: hearing loss. When you struggle to process sound, the brain diverts energy from the memory centers to boost auditory processing, eventually leading to atrophy in the neglected regions. Managing these physical ailments, even a sensory issue like hearing, reduces the strain on the brain. When these systems function properly, the brain can dedicate more of its resources to maintaining memory and cognition. Moving from the physical body to our surroundings, a study revealed that lower formal education and the financial stress of a lower socioeconomic status increase vulnerability to cognitive decline. This illustrates the concept of cognitive reserve. Lifelong mental enrichment and education actually builds a structural barrier in the brain. It absorbs incoming pathology, allowing core functions to continue normally even as damage accumulates over time. Lifestyle choices like alcohol consumption also require careful calibration. Clinical alcohol use disorder is highly toxic, directly destroying brain cells. But the data revealed an anomaly researchers call the healthy drinker effect. Total strict abstinence was actually linked to a slightly higher risk of early dementia than moderate casual drinking. Our daily environments and habits act as active forces. They physically sculpt the brain's resilience, reinforcing or weakening its structures decades before old age. The final category is mental well-being. Chronic depression showed a robust, undeniable link to young-onset dementia. Severe social isolation compounded this risk. The study drew a hard line in the data. Visiting friends or family once a month or less served as a major red flag for rapid cognitive decline. Chronic depression and social disconnection function as literal biological stressors that correlate with physical changes in brain health. Maintaining social connections and managing mental health requires the same biological priority as eating a healthy diet or going to the gym. Look at this grid of the 15 triggers. You might carry the APOE4 genetic risk factor, permanently locking this single node into place. But watch as the other 14 nodes light up. They are completely highly modifiable. You can take action right now. Get a hearing test. Ask your doctor for a blood panel to check your vitamin D and inflammation levels. Call a friend and schedule time to see them this week. The study provides a starting point for managing risk in middle age. Identifying which of these 14 modifiable triggers applies to your own life is the first step toward better brain health. Which of these factors was most unexpected to you? Let us know in the comments below.